if you're a medical professional or you have a business that sells medical supplies, this video is for you. I'm going to discuss how to find these contracts, how to place bids on them, and how to win them. So let's get started. So there are two main categories for government contracts. You have the federal level, and then you have state, local, and education level. Federal level, you can find these government opportunities on a website called sam.gov, and that's for all agencies of the federal government. And then you have every state, every county, every city, they have their own procurement process, they have their own procurement website, and they have their own procurement registration. And that applies for all the states and all the cities. So the process is pretty straightforward. You have to register with the agency or with the federal government or the state. So if you're working, for example, with the state of California, you have to register with them. If you want to work on a federal level, you have to be registered on sam.gov. And then once you registered, you have to find government contracts. So if you're looking on the federal side, you can find those on sam.gov. I'm going to show you how now. If you are working with a specific state or city, you have to find it on their own procurement website. Finally, you want to submit a bid, and that usually includes submitting a proposal with pricing, details about your business, your past performances. Then, once you win the bid, you fulfill the contract and you get paid. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we're going to jump into how to find these government contracts. This might look long, but I'll break it down. It's simpler. It's really simple. So when you want to find federal contracts, as I've mentioned, you want to go on sam.gov. So how do you find that? I'm going to break down the NAICS code, which is the industry codes for what you want to look for, and that's based on what services you provide. So if you're a physician, for example, there's an industry code specifically for you. If you're a dentist, there's a code for you, as you can see here. Chiropractor, mental health, physical occupational therapy, general medicine, you have psychiatry, you have nursing, you have other healthcare practitioners. So that if you are a medical professional, a nurse, a doctor, a dentist, a chiropractor, a mental health professional, these are the kind of NAICS code you would be looking into. I'll have these in the description. And then if you sell medical supplies, let's say you have, and that goes all the way, for example, surgical medical supplies, and going all the way to masks. There are codes for each one of these. For example, here you have pharmacy and drugstores, they have their own code. You have surgical appliances, it has its own code. Surgical and medical instrument manufacturing, medical, dental, and hospital equipment, and then you have home health equipment rentals. So you want to know the code for what you specialize in. And if you specialize in multiple of these, it's even better. But you have to know the code, and I'm going to show you why. I'll have these in the description so you can just use them for what you specialize in. But how do we find these government contracts on sam.gov? I'm going to show you how. You want to click on search here. Once you're here, you want to select contracting. So that's the category we're looking for. And as you can see here, the filter is changed. So we want to select product or service information. And then we want to come here and choose the NAICS code, which is the industry code we just talked about, for what we specialize in. So let's say we specialize in medical, dental, and hospital equipment and supplies. So we come here and we select that NAICS code. And as you can see here, we're seeing 11 results. This one, for example, is for first aid training kit. This one is for hospital supply division. This one is a sole sources. So the way this would work, you come here, you check what department is asking for this. This one is the Department of Veteran Affairs. You can see the published date is March 3rd, and they want a response by March 4th. It's active. You can see here the product code. As you can see, this medical, dental, hospital equipment. You have to go over the description and obviously the attachments. They're still loading for me, but usually you would come in a PDF or a Word files. You can click on them and get more details on this opportunity. This is the contracting office address, and then this is the point of contact that you would send any questions, any inquiries, and finally, this is the person that you have to submit the bid to. So you have to email them unless they specifically mention instructions on how to submit a bid. So that's the first layer of filtering. Another way you can do it is you can forget the NAICS code, and let's say you specialize in first kit, you would have to get the keyword, and then first aid, first aid. Get the exact keyword that's in the title. The search does not really work. So that's why I always advise you search by NAICS code, or you find a software that does this better, and I'm going to show you how. Another thing you want to filter by, specifically if you are a medical professional, if you're a dentist, psychiatrist, chiropractor, a doctor, even a nurse, you want to specify the location you operate in. You're not going to, obviously, unless you do that, you're not going to go out of state or out of your city. So in state, you want to select your state. So if you are based in Arizona, you want to make sure you're only filtering for contracts in Arizona. Another thing that you want is there are different notice types. Not all notices are the same. So I have a video, I go into these in detail, but you don't want to get award notices. These are contracts that have been awarded. So you want to filter for solicitations. And these are bids that are open that they want you to submit on. And then earlier in the process, there are sources sought and pre-solicitation, where the agency is asking for information or more details before it becomes a solicitation. So it's a way for you to build a relationship with the agency, which is pretty important. So what I usually do is I select sources sought, pre-solicitation, combined synopsis and solicitation. So these are usually what I go for. And finally, you want to make sure that you're selecting active for status. You don't want to see old contracts. So that's it on a federal level. For state, county, and local level, it's a bit different because every state and every agency, as I've mentioned, they have their own website. So what I've done, I've compiled a list of all government contracting procurement websites across all states. So as you can see here, Texas, we have one for the state of Texas, then the city of San Antonio, all the cities, Houston, Dallas, Austin, and then also Texas Department of Transportation, University Health, Texas Southmost College. So we're covering all websites on all levels: state, city, education, county. So what you can do is I'll have this in the description. You can go and choose the state you work in, go on their website and try and find government contracts for medical or healthcare related government contracts. But if you want to search across all of these all at once, what you want to do is you want to use a software. And for that, obviously, you're not going to do this manually because, as you see, there are a lot of them. Um, for that, you need to use a government contracting software. And the one I'm going to show you today is samsearch.co. In my opinion, it's the easiest one on the market. So you can search on a federal, state, and grants and SBIR, STTR. So if you can see here, we want to search, let's say, for medical supplies. Unlike what happened with sam.gov, you don't have to explicitly mention the word that's in the title. It just gets it. So, for example, this one, the Texas Health and Human Service Commission, for contracts to supply medical and emergency supply to the this living center. So, as you can see, this is an AI generated summary. You would not find this on the state website or on sam.gov. It makes it easy for you to make bid or no bid decision. You don't have to go through each one of these documents, review the description, all the attachments to get it to understand what this is about. You're getting a quick summary that makes it easier for you to understand whether you want to do this or not. And you can search across state level. As you can see here, you can filter by all the states. And then you can also go on a federal level and do the exact same thing. So as you can see here, for medical supplies, I was able to find, so this one is past due. We can come here and say we only want to see active ones. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of medical supplies and we're getting also an AI generated summary. Now, what we can also do on sam.gov, since we're searching across state government, you can save here and you'll be notified before the deadline. So this way you're not missing out on an opportunity. Another thing, you can let it do the searches for you. So let's say you don't want to go and search every single day. What you can do is you can schedule these searches. So I'm gonna say here medical supplies, and I want to be notified on a weekly basis of any government contracts that are in this space. And it will understand and it will find all medical supplies government contracts. Even though if they don't have to have the word medical supplies, it will just the AI will understand and it will send me those contracts. So I could just do this, and now every single week I'm gonna get notified of all medical supplies government contracts on every single state, every single city, and also on a federal level. Another thing you can do, instead of going and reading through all of these, what we can do is we can summarize each one of these PDFs to get a gist of the PDF before we open it, download it, and see what's it about. And a lot of them, they have codes like this. So the AI goes across all the pages and it summarizes it, as you can see here. We're getting exactly what this um, attachment is about. A step further, let's say we want to understand this on a deeper level, we can click on Ask Sam Search AI, and it's going to analyze all the documents, and if there's a long description, it's going to analyze that, and then we will be able to ask it questions. So for example, I'm going to ask it to tell me the statement of work and summarize the opportunity for me in simple terms. We're getting a summary, and then we're getting the state of work as we mentioned, as we asked for. And we're getting also uh, the source for each one of these. So we're knowing which document is giving us which information. So we know it's not making stuff up, and we can go back and revisit the document where we're getting the information from. And you can go more into details about what you want to ask. So let's say you see something subcontracting is allowed, but prior written approval from HHSC is necessary. So we say, what is the subcontracting approval? So you can ask it as many questions as you want, just to make sure you're understanding all of it as you wish. Now, let's say we understand this, we get all the details we want, we quickly learned all of it without having to read all the documents. The next step would be is to submit a bid. So how does that work? Well, we generate a proposal. And generating a proposal is a two-step. So first we want to generate an outline. And what it's doing is after we fill in our documents, so we put in our past performances, things we've sold in the past. If you're a doctor, you mentioned, for example, your past experience and so on. And then once we are here in the proposal, it will take the opportunity, all the documents for the opportunity, takes your details and your profile, and will generate an outline based on that. After we generate an outline, we'll be able to edit the outline, tell the AI exactly what to write about, and then we'll be able to generate the proposal. Each section of the outline, it has a writing plan that's telling SamSearch AI what to write about. So what we want to do is we want to go over this step by step and see which things we want to convey in our proposal. So I can come here and say the quality control measures. I can mention more details I want. I could tell it I want you, for example, to talk about our quality assurance metrics, and you would give it that information, for example, in here or even in your files. One more thing you could do is you can remove any section you don't want. For example, I could just remove this. You can add a new section as well. You can select the section number, title, number of pages, and then you would give it the writing plan. For example, if there's a pricing section, you have to mention the pricing that you want the AI to write about, because it doesn't have that. If it doesn't have that knowledge, it's not going to be able to write that section. So once you're done doing that, you'll just click on Generate Proposal, and now it's gonna start writing each section you asked about based on your information and the plan that you gave it. As you can see here, we have all the sections we asked for uh, in the outline. What we can do is sometimes I forgot to mention, for example, past performances. I did not, for example, mention my previous past performances in my documents. I did not include that. So it gave me a template, as you can see here, with things that I need to fill in brackets. So what I can do is I can come here, select this, and say we supplied 10 million worth of masks, for example. Talk about that in this section. I'm gonna fill in this section that I asked exactly how I asked it for. Now I could ask it to refine it. So it still I didn't tell it the duration. I could say duration was all of 2024, and the metric of performance was a 5-star rating by the hospital. So this way you could let the AI write for you. You could just give it things and it will write the way you want to write. So as you can see here, we'll take this and we will copy this and we can just paste it here. And you can keep editing this as much as you want, but you get the idea. So yeah, this way you can use AI. You can use AI to even edit the proposal. Once you're done, let's say we want to submit this, you can just go ahead and download it, and you will have it as a Word document on your laptop, and you would be ready to submit. I hope this was helpful. As I mentioned, you'll find all the resources in the description. You can get a 7-day free trial for Sound Search. The link will be in the first comment and in the description. Try it out for yourself and let me know how you found it. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon.